And let's get into my culture news with our segue wheel. Roll the segue wheel. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, segue wheel. I'm just going to keep on coming up with a jingle until I like one. I believe that's sarcasm. It was on the cusp of tell a joke, but you can tell a sarcastic joke if you want. This is my culture news. I've got 2 stories here. The first one is
Sarcasm.
probably one everyone's been seeing, especially if you're a gamer, because boy has this not been surprising at all. Trump is using video game memes to recruit for ICE. This is on The Guardian by Alyssa Mercante. Just days after Microsoft announced Halo Campaign Evolved, the next game in its famous science fiction series, the White House shared an interesting picture on Twitter. The image, which appears to be an AI-generated convicted felon, Trump, wearing the armor of Halo's iconic protagonist, Master Chief, standing in salute in front of an American flag that's missing several stars, by the way. So there's a lot of information through this AI art. In his left hand is an energy sword, a weapon used by the alien enemies in Halo games, posted in response to a tweet from U.S. game retailer GameStop. The text accompanying the image reads, "Power to the players," in reference to the store's slogan. So he's trying to get all the gamers to join ICE and start thugging around the streets. GameStop and the White House exchanged another Halo meme or two. And then on 27th October, the official Department of Homeland Security Twitter account joined in, using Halo imagery of a futuristic soldier in an alien world to encourage people to join its increasingly militaristic Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Stop the flood, this one reads, equating the U.S. immigration population to parasitic aliens that Master Chief eliminates. Mind you, the flood aren't the bad guys. The flood, I know I'm going into video game lore here. The flood is a offshoot of the aliens. So it's like, if the KKK had its own army and was invading your country, that's what it's like, okay? Or, even better, if you're putting your National Guard in another state's National Guard in a different state. It's like that. That's what the flood is, okay? It is not immigrants. The flood are, and to be fair, I think the humans are immigrants in this, in the Halo universe, not the aliens. The aliens are like, who the fuck are these guys doing? Anyways, metaphor lost. Who cares about analogies? Let's just say whatever we want and rechange what anything means to fit our narrative. Yet another war ended under President Trump's watch. Only one leader is fully committed to giving power to the players, and that's leader Donald J. Trump, said White House Deputy Press Secretary Kush Desai over email. When asked for the official line on this post, that is why he's hugely popular with the American people and American gamers, as I'm pretty sure his, what is that thing called where people ask how you feel about a leader of a country? Numbers are down. It's like 30%, dude. Maybe lower, 27 or something. And it's not going up just because he's sharing Halo memes. Well, that's the problem. He's sharing Halo memes instead of actually being a decent person. The spate of sharing video game imageries may seem odd, but Trump and his various allies have been leaning into gamer culture for nearly a decade. Yes, that's exactly what Gamergate was. Gamergate was the ability to radicalize a bunch of gamers against women so that they could take away women's rights later. Hey, they don't deserve it because I've hated women for 10 years because of Gamergate. I'm very, very, very explaining that very simply, okay? We don't have to get into the deep trenches of what Gamergate is. Gamergate? Gamergate.
Gamergate. That sounds like a new porn.
That's a different movement.
That's a different porn movement.
TwitchCon. Anyways.
That's right. There you go. No, that's straight up.
Courted gamers, a demographic that includes a significant subsection of disaffected young men. Reminder that most gamers are now 50-50, women and men, so it's not owned by a single gender. Since his first presidential campaign, media executive Steve Bannon was the person who used Gamergaters to basically
He's been
get people
pardoned
in
twice
to the far right, anti, all the things that I consider bad things in human society. Steve Bannon helped
was
ferry
in
those
prison.
people over to that. He joined the campaign of
Just a reminder, he was in prison for stealing money.
In August 2016, bringing with him a wealth of knowledge of video game culture and online behavior of its biggest fans. Bannon had previously worked with the secured funding for Internet Gaming Entertainment, a Hong Kong company that paid Chinese workers low wages to farm gold in multiple player games of Warcraft. According to Joshua Green's book on Bannon, Devil's Bargain, Stephen Bannon, Donald Trump, and the Storming of the Presidency, it was during this time that Bannon learned that these rootless white males had monster power. Yes, any demographic can be used this way. That's why populism is so popular. In 2014, Bannon watched as Gamergate, an amorphous online army massing the darker corners of the web, routinely targeted women and other people marginalized in the video game industry for all their problems. Video games are bad because of women and colored people, not because video game industry is just looking for the next avenue of money, so they've sold all of their principles for the cash. That's the real reason video games are bad. Hey, I can make money off of that. Fuck my player base. Money! He saw how the movement's behavior led to real-world acts such as organized harassment and doxing, the sharing of private information with public. Once Bannon joined the campaign, he leveraged his understanding of gamer culture to push the presidential campaign to previously untouched places. That army was ready to engage in memetic warfare at any given moment, and it did. Of course, famously, the memes against Hillary Clinton, sharing fabricated allegations of health problems with the hashtag HillaryHealth, irregularly produced memes supporting Trump based on internet in-jokes and nerdy pop culture references. Arguably, Trump defeated Clinton in the 2016 presidential campaign with the help of this army. A lot of people thought Trump was a meme. And because he was a meme, he wasn't taken seriously, and that's how he was able to get elected. There's people who voted for him because they thought it was funny. They thought it was funny. This guy's not going to win, but I'm going to vote for him so I can say, I voted for Trump in 2016 because I knew he was a loser. He did not lose. He did not lose.
You act like they stopped being this stupid. You act like they stopped being this. They're still this stupid. They didn't stop being stupid. Yeah. They're still there.
Anyways, when convicted felon Trump failed to beat Joe Biden in 2020, he turned to his own social media platform, Truth Social, to regularly lambast Biden and the Democrats throughout Biden's 4-year term. He continued his memes as well as Musk. Good old Elon Musk, the meme lord. Because he is himself a meme. The South African entrepreneur bought Twitter in October 2022 and quickly reinstated the account of Trump and a host of others that had been banned for being memes themselves. Musk, who regularly invokes gamer culture and posts memes on his own Twitter account, has spent a few weeks earlier this year embroiled in a ridiculous fight over whether he was faking his gamer credentials. He was loosened the restrictions on hate speech on the platform and boosted the exact kind of toxic gamer culture that the White House is now supporting. So there's our history, in case you weren't awake since 2016. That's how we got here, okay? So now it's not really surprised that they're using gamer memes in order to catch people in, to ice raids and icing up people. They've even used Pokemon, the gotta catch them all slogan from the franchise, in which they did not have permission to do that, and they will be getting sued. The video game industry at large has long remained silent when it comes to reactionary politics and ideologies. Wrong! There are a billion games you can play right now that are about reactionary politics and ideologies. This idea that video games have never been political is not real. They've always been political. There's video games that are about political things, like dictators taking over countries, and you, the sole hero, have to save the country from the dictator by beating up his cronies and blowing them up. You know, this has existed, okay? This has existed. Politics have always been in video games. Let's stop acting like they haven't been there.
So
video games have been very vocally saying what they think about politics, okay? We won't talk about anything else. That's the end of that, because I need to have another story after this. This is shorter. But, surprise! Not so surprising.
Did the article say something about Trump getting banned from Twitter for what?
Yeah, he was banned on Twitter for false news, you know, and being just a menace, I think.
He was banned from Twitter. Writer.
When Musk returned or owned it, when he bought it, he reinstated his account.
I understand all that. I'm just clarifying the record because whoever wrote this just minimizes what actually happened.
I minimized all of it because I didn't want to read 15 paragraphs. It was me. Okay, I was self-editing the article.
Okay, then. So, Trump was banned from Twitter for inciting a riot in which people died. That's how he's banned from Twitter. So, again, minimizing what he actually did with the writer. You disagreed with him, so it's fine. Anyway, my sarcasm is I want to see all these keyboard warriors reaching for their joysticks when they're getting pepper sprayed and kicked in the nuts because they're not trained. They're just put out there with masks on to go in with a bunch of like a mob to go steal people from where they're living or working for bounties.
I mean, the meme with gamers has always been like they think they can do that stuff that they're doing in the video game. But guess what? You don't get a respawn. You don't get to come back. If you die in real life. So.
All of these states that have stand your ground laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is it allowed somebody with a mask can just come to your door with no badge or anything? You should be allowed to shoot them, right?
Mm.
I think so. I'm just saying, how are they surviving any of these attacks when most people in the United States have guns? At least, have access to a gun. It ain't that hard to get.